The first signs came slowly. Little things that didn't feel wrong at the time. Claire forgot her wallet at dinner once. I paid and brushed it off. The next week, her car broke down. She called crying on the side of the road. I left work early, drove there and paid the mechanic. She promised to pay me back. She never did, but I didn't care. Love makes you patient, maybe too patient. Then her rent was late. Her landlord was being unfair, she said. I sent her $400 to help. She said she'd return it by the end of the month. The end of the month came and went. She said there was a dental bill. Another month passed, another story. I didn't realize it yet, but I was being trained. Trained to say yes whenever she asked. Every favor became a test of loyalty. When I said yes, she smiled. When I hesitated, she cried. Then a new name entered our conversations. Ryan. Her ex. At first, it was casual. A story here, a memory there. I didn't like it, but I said nothing. She said Ryan was a good guy, who'd fallen on hard times. He lost his job. He was struggling to pay rent. I listened, pretending not to care. But every time she said his name, her tone softened. Like she was talking about someone she still loved. One night, we were out for dinner. She looked serious. Ryan, about to lose his apartment, she said. I kept eating. That's rough, I said. She reached across the table, took my hand. I was thinking maybe we could help him. I laughed, waiting for the punchline. It never came. She was serious. You want me to pay your ex's rent? She nodded. He's a friend. Friends help friends. I pulled my hand away. Claire, he's not my friend. She sighed, her eyes filling with tears. If you loved me, you'd understand. That line hit me like a knife. I paid the bill, said nothing. The next day, she didn't text. 3 days of silence. Then she showed up at my house, smiling like nothing happened. I let it go. I shouldn't have. Because after that, the requests didn't stop. Ryan's electricity got shut off. Ryan's car needed tires. Ryan needed help with insurance. Every time, it was just this once. Every time, I said no. And every time, she punished me with silence. I started noticing her social media posts. Sad quotes about betrayal, loyalty, and fake people. People commented with hearts and sympathy. They thought I'd hurt her. She never told them the truth. I was just the guy refusing to pay for her ex. I told my best friend about it over beers. He laughed so hard he nearly spilled his drink. Dude, she's lost her mind, he said. I didn't disagree. But deep down, I wasn't ready to leave. Because I still remembered how she made me feel in the beginning. And I kept hoping that version of her would come back. It never did. It was month 10, when things went from strange to unreal. We were at dinner again, the kind with candles and quiet music. Claire had been acting distant all week. She barely looked at me through the meal. Then, halfway through her wine, she sighed. Ryan called me yesterday, she said softly. I felt my jaw tighten. Why? I asked. He's really struggling, she whispered. I didn't respond. She hesitated, then said it. I was thinking maybe he could stay at your place for a while. I almost laughed out loud. She kept going, dead serious. You have a big house, Ethan. 3 bedrooms, it's just you. I stared at her, waiting for the joke. There wasn't one. You want your ex-boyfriend to move into my house. She nodded like it was the most reasonable thing in the world. It's temporary, just until he finds work. I put my fork down slowly. Absolutely not, I said. She frowned, like I was being cruel. You're being selfish, she snapped. I'm being logical, I replied. She stood up and stormed out before dessert arrived. That night, she didn't answer my calls. The next morning, she sent one text. If you loved me, you'd understand. I didn't reply. A week passed. Then she came over smiling, acting like nothing had happened. She kissed me, made breakfast, told jokes. And for a moment, I almost forgot. Then she said it again. I really think Ryan could use our help. I couldn't believe my ears. You're still on that? I asked. She nodded, her tone calm now. Fine, she said. Then maybe you can just pay his rent instead. I stared at her, speechless. She said it so casually, like asking me to buy milk. Claire, why is this my responsibility? Because you have the means, she said quietly. And because it matters to me. I stood up and walked to the door. This isn't love, I said. This is insanity. She didn't follow me. She just sat there, staring at her phone. That was the first real crack in whatever illusion I'd been living. I started replaying everything in my head. All the times she needed money. All the times Ryan's name slipped out of her mouth. It all made sense now. She'd never really let him go. I was just the one paying their bills. 2 weeks later, she tried again. Her tone changed, sweeter this time. She showed up in tears, holding her phone. Ryan's car got repossessed, she said. He can't get a work. Please, Ethan, just $300. I said no, and watched her crumble. She accused me of not caring. She said I'd changed. She walked out, slamming the door. I sat there in silence, angry and ashamed. Because deep down, I still wanted to believe she loved me. But love shouldn't feel like manipulation. It shouldn't feel like guilt. And for the first time, I started to see her for who she really was. By our 1-year anniversary, everything felt heavy. Every conversation turned into a fight. Every moment felt like walking on glass. I still cared, but I was tired of feeling used. Valentine's Day came, and I thought maybe I'd fix things. I booked an expensive dinner, the kind with wine and candles. She wore a red dress, smiled like nothing had ever gone wrong. For a few hours, it almost felt normal again. We laughed, drank, pretended we were okay. Then, after dessert, her tone changed. She put her hand on mine and said softly, Ethan, we need to talk. Those words never end well. She looked nervous but determined. Ryan's getting evicted, she said. He has nowhere to go. I can't just abandon him. I froze, waiting for her next line. I think he should stay with you for a while. I blinked, thinking I misheard. She continued like she was asking for nothing big. You have space. It's only for a few months. I laughed, a short, bitter laugh. You want me to live with your ex-boyfriend? She didn't flinch. He's a good person, Ethan. You'd probably like him. My stomach turned. You've lost your mind, I said quietly. She frowned. I'm being practical. You're being cold. I stood up, dropped my napkin on the table. This conversation is over. Her eyes hardened. If you don't help him, we're done. For a second, I thought she was bluffing. But she sat there, serious, daring me to say no. I looked at her for a long moment. Okay, I said finally. She smiled, relieved. Then I added, okay, we're done. Her face went pale. Wait, what? You said if I don't help him, it's over. So it's over. She reached out, panicked. Ethan, please, that's not what I meant. But I'd already made up my mind. I grabbed my jacket and stood. You just chose him over me. That tells me everything. Her eyes filled with tears. I'll pay you back, I promise. Just don't walk away. I shook my head. I don't want the money. I want peace. I left her there, sitting in silence, staring at her glass of wine. That was the last night I ever saw her smile at me. On the drive home, I blocked her number. Deleted her photos. It hurt, but it also felt like breathing for the first time in months. I told myself it was over. But people like Claire don't disappear quietly. They come back when you least expect it. 3 months later, she did. Early morning, knocking on my door, crying. Her eyes were red, her hands shaking. "I'm pregnant," she said. The words hit like a punch. Then I laughed. Because I'd had a vasectomy 8 years ago. She froze, realizing the trap had failed before it even began. And in that moment, I knew the real story was just starting. She stood on my porch, shaking. Her voice cracked when she spoke. "It's yours, Ethan. I swear it's yours." I leaned against the doorframe and laughed quietly. "Claire, I had a vasectomy 8 years ago." She blinked, confused, pretending she didn't hear me. "Vasectomies can fail," she said weakly. "Sure," I said, "but I had mine tested 2 years ago, still 0 count." Her mouth opened, but no words came out. The math didn't lie, and she knew it. We hadn't been together in months. The timing didn't even come close. I folded my arms and stared at her. "So, congratulations," I said, "but it's not mine." Tears streamed down her face. "You're really going to abandon your child?" "It's not my child," I said coldly. "Call Ryan. I'm sure he'll be thrilled." Her face turned red, her voice trembling. "Don't do this. Please, Ethan, I need help." "No," I said. "What you need is honesty." She cried harder, trying to pull sympathy from thin air. But I'd seen this show before. I closed the door slowly, locked it, and walked away. For the first time, I didn't feel guilty. A week passed before I heard from her again. Only this time it wasn't her. It was a lawyer. A certified letter landed in my mailbox. She was suing me for paternity and child support. I stared at it for a long time, almost laughing again. She really thought she could force me to pay. I called my attorney, Mr. Collins. He'd helped me with my estate papers before. I explained everything, from the breakup to the vasectomy. He asked, "Do you have documentation?" "All of it," I said. He chuckled. "Then this will be easy." I met him the next morning with a folder of proof. Surgical records, lab results, follow-up tests, all certified. He flipped through each page, nodding with satisfaction. "She's not just lying," he said. "She's committing fraud." We filed a response the same day. Included the medical proof, and offered a DNA test when the baby was born. A week later, her lawyer dropped the case completely. Apparently, Claire had told them I only claimed to be sterile. When they saw the actual documents, they realized she'd lied to them too. The firm cut ties immediately. I thought that was the end of it. But she wasn't finished trying to play the victim. 2 weeks later, she filed for a restraining order. Claimed I was stalking and threatening her. The judge wasn't amused. I hadn't contacted her once since that morning at my door. I had phone logs, texts, and records to prove it. When the judge saw the evidence, he shut her down fast. "Ma'am, you can't claim harassment from someone defending himself," he said. Her face crumbled in the courtroom. That was the moment I realized something deep. This wasn't heartbreak anymore. It was war, and she'd just lost her first battle. After the restraining order was denied, I thought she'd finally stop. But revenge has a strange way of circling back. One night, I sat alone at my desk, staring at old receipts. I wanted closure, not anger. But the more I looked, the clearer it became. Every dollar I'd spent was a lie wrapped in love. Rent, repairs, dinners, phone bills, all gone to her and someone else. I opened my laptop and started digging. I'm a systems engineer. Information leaves trails, and I know how to find them. Within an hour, I found her real estate license records. Only 3 property sales in 2 years. That didn't add up to her lifestyle. Designer clothes, luxury dinners, new phone every few months. She wasn't rich. She was pretending. I kept digging, tracing social media posts, comments, photos. Then I found him. Ryan. His profiles were public, full of arrogance and bad jokes. He posted a picture of himself at a restaurant I'd paid for. Same date, same dish, same night. Another photo showed him wearing the jacket I bought her. The caption read, "My girl takes care of everything." I sat back in disbelief. It wasn't just betrayal. It was mockery. I took screenshots, downloaded everything, saved backups. Every photo, every caption, every comment. She used my money to support her ex while lying to my face. And he was bragging about it online. That night, I didn't sleep. I went through months of transactions, building a timeline. Each transfer, each Venmo payment, each excuse she gave me. It all fit perfectly. I calculated the total. $10,847. Money I'd given under false pretenses. I printed every record, labeled each one with dates and reasons. Then I looked up fraud laws in my state. There it was, in black and white. Obtaining money through deception was civil fraud. And I had every piece of proof. The next morning, I called Mr. Collins. "Can I sue her for lying about where the money went?" I asked. He asked for the documents. 2 days later, he called me back. "Ethan, this is textbook fraud," he said. "We can sue for restitution, interest, and legal fees." He drafted the complaint himself. It listed every transaction, every lie, every screenshot. 2 weeks later, she got served. Her new lawyer tried to call us to negotiate. They offered to drop the paternity mess if I dropped the fraud case. I said no. I wanted justice, not a deal. Everything she'd done would be public record now. Anyone searching her name would find it. Her lies, her fake image, her double life. It was all written in the lawsuit for the world to see. I didn't want to ruin her life. I just wanted the truth to be louder than her lies. And for the first time in months, I felt calm. Because now, the game wasn't emotional anymore. It was legal. And I played by the rules she never thought I knew. The case went to court 6 months later. By then, I had 3 boxes of evidence. Receipts, screenshots, bank records, and social media posts. I wasn't nervous. I was ready. She walked in wearing a gray suit and fake confidence. Ryan wasn't with her. He had his own problems now. Her lawyer started with a soft tone. "These were gifts between romantic partners," he said. The judge looked bored. Then it was our turn. Mr. Collins stood and spoke calmly. "Your Honor, this is not about gifts. This is deception." He handed the court my documents. Each page showed how my money left my account and landed in hers. Then, within days, payments went to Ryan's account. The pattern was undeniable. When I took the stand, my heart was steady. Mr. Collins asked simple questions. "Did you know she was in a relationship with Ryan?" "No." "Would you have given her money if you had known?" "Absolutely not." He nodded. That was all it took. Then he played the video clips. Ryan laughing on social media about living rent-free. Bragging about his sugar mama, buying him clothes. Claire kept her head down. Her lawyer tried to interrupt. The judge waved him off. Let him finish. By the time the clips ended, the courtroom was silent. Then Ryan himself was called to testify. He looked like he hadn't slept in days. Mr. Collins asked one question at a time. "Were you living with Claire during her relationship with Ethan?" Ryan hesitated. "Yeah." "Did you benefit financially from Ethan's money?" He sighed. "I guess you could say that." The judge leaned forward. "You guess or you did?" "I did," Ryan said quietly. No one spoke after that. The lawyer tried to claim I should have known. That love makes people generous. But generosity isn't the same as being deceived. The jury saw that clearly. They deliberated for less than an hour. When they returned, the verdict was unanimous. Fraud proven. Claire owed me $10,847 plus fees and court costs. Total, $14,847. Her lawyer's face turned pale. Mine smiled. The judge signed the judgment and banged the gavel. It was over. A month later, the judgment hit her credit report. She couldn't lease a car or rent an apartment without a huge deposit. Her real estate license was suspended pending review, then revoked completely. She'd lied on applications, borrowed from client escrow accounts, and got caught. Ryan left her soon, after their baby was born. He moved to another state to dodge child support. Last I heard, she was living with her parents, working retail. She sends $200 a month toward the debt. At that pace, she'll finish paying in 6 years. Sometimes people ask if I feel sorry for her. I don't. She didn't just break my heart. She tried to destroy my life. What I did wasn't revenge. It was balance. And finally, the scales were even. Months passed after the trial. Life felt quiet again. I went back to work, the gym, and weekends with friends. The noise in my head finally stopped. No more lies. No more guilt. Just peace. One evening, a message came through a mutual friend. It was from Claire. She said she was in therapy. She said she'd changed. She asked if I could forgive her someday. I read the words twice and smiled. Then I told my friend to reply. Tell her to finish paying her debt first. At $200 a month, she still had years to go. Maybe by then, I'd consider it. But forgiveness isn't free. It's earned. And she hadn't earned anything except consequence. Sometimes, I think about how it all started. A smile at a party. A drink, a dance, a lie. People say love makes you blind. Maybe it does. But once you see the truth, you never forget it. I don't hate her anymore. I just don't care. Because in the end, she didn't destroy me. She revealed me. And I came out stronger than she ever imagined.